or something?
No, it's like the 13th.
14th. Oh, I need.
No,
14th.
no. I mean, this goes up next
Oh, you're
Sunday.
right.
Oh,
you're right.
yeah.
Damn.
Something like that.
Yeah,
So
Yes.
it's November. Today's the 14th.
The 22nd. I'm gonna say the 22nd.
All right.
No, I don't know. Today's Tuesday. I thought today was Sunday.
Today's Tuesday. It's the 14th. So Sunday.
It goes up the 19th.
The 19th.
November 19th.
That's
and
what I
Happy
said.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We'll just split the difference.
It is
Yeah.
the pre-Thanksgiving episode.
and
Yeah.
our nation is at war
Or no, I guess that's the next
Yeah.
one.
with North Korea.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Everybody out there, the 8-year-olds of Hanukkah. Year-old.
It's going to be a good
The
2018.
8 boys of Hanukkah.
Yeah. You get a boy every night of Hanukkah. You get a 1-year-old on the first night.
Oh shit.
You know.
Oh, nice stuff. We got, let's introduce our guest. We got Tim Dillon here today. Thanks for
Adam-
coming.
yeah. Adam Suter.
Yes,
Adam
thank you.
Suter.
Yeah.
My
It's very
gentle-
tough. I was going
my
to come on and
gentleman
just
caller.
I was going to come on and just talk about like
Please
raping
do.
Adam, but then like this week's been a very
No,
tough week
you
for
have
that
to.
type
It's
of
fine.
humor.
You have
could
to.
still sexually
Yeah.
harass straight
Let's
white
say
men.
how
Yeah.
you would want to rape
That's
him.
true. That's a great point.
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
a straight white devil.
Yeah, thank you.
On your knees.
I am a Yakubian.
Yeah.
When you drug and rape Adam, I'll
Yeah.
come to your defense and I'll.
I appreciate it.
When your public apology can say Nick said it was okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate both of you as character
Nick
witnesses.
said it was
Absolutely. Oh,
funny.
for sure.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
means we do characters.
Yeah.
At the UCB rape trial of Aaron Glazer,
know
they
me.
brought in character
Nobody even
witnesses.
saw how she was dressed. She was asking for it. A mini skirt, come on.
The rape trial.
That's the character.
I would, if that, I would, and I don't go to UCB a lot, but if they had a rape trial of Aaron Glazer, I would be there every night, sitting in the front row, like, just donating money. Like, how can I support this?
Yeah.
You know, I don't drink, but I buy beers for the
We
entire
should
audience.
we just keep going to
Yeah.
improv shows. A
Yeah.
rape trial. We need a location.
We need a
Aaron Glazer's rape
It's a
trial.
play called 12 Low T Men.
Yeah.
12 men incapable of getting angry.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of guys at UCB outing themselves as rapists and then describing what they did. It's not rape. You know? They're like, I called her back for the 3rd time. And we're like, sit down. You did not do anything. I get what you're trying to do here. They're like, I'm really not. I'm not. Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
I'm a garbage person.
Yeah, I'm the worst. I love that was my favorite thing on Facebook. All the dudes that were like, and some of them were legit, which is great. But then some of the people were just the things they were saying. They're like, I've treated people poorly.
I have
I'm
held
like,
a woman's
Yeah, that's
hand.
not what we're talking about.
Yeah, I
Everybody's
wanted to-
treated people poorly.
I wanted to write a thing that's like, you know, we're all guilty in this, you know. Several years ago, yeah, I kidnapped an 8-year-old girl with Down syndrome and I suffocated her with my penis. We're all sharing guilt.
Society is
Yeah.
That's the
guilty.
thing that we've all done.
Yeah, I blame that kidnapping on a system of oppression that gave me the idea that was okay to do.
I melted a bunch of Jolly Ranchers and dipped my penis in it and inserted it into that poor girl's mouth
Yeah.
because of Louis C.K.
Yes.
I watched his show.
Yeah. And as I described that to my male friends, they laughed and patted me on the back. And that is a type of toxic network.
Yes. A boys club.
I guess my point is that we need more trans women on television.
Yes. On the thing that's dying. We need more trans women in the least relevant
Yes.
medium.
Journalists.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the whole idea, too, is it's like the whole diversity thing is like, how about more trans doctors? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
the idea that any minority gets status from being a clown is
Right,
amazing.
right,
you know,
right,
right,
like
right.
just when you go to the New York Comedy Festival party, it's like a sad thing, and it's just desperation, and just a bunch of losers like eating
Virgins.
shrimp, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you don't want that for anyone. Like,
Right,
you don't
right,
want.
right.
That's not how like people are gonna make.
Well,
it.
my favorite version of the we need more representation thing, I remember I was reading an article on Jezebel one time, and there was some commenter that was like very highly upvoted that was like, you know, what's fucked up is that they're talking about like women in STEM, and they're like, you know, I always thought it would have been great if I could have been a mechanic. I love working with my hands, but they push girls out of those kind of environments, and now I'm a lab technician, which is kind of similar to that, but I can't. It's like, You don't know what being a mechanic is.
Yeah.
It is one of the worst fucking jobs.
Yeah, you have a much better job now as a lab technician.
It's for Mexican men that like die of scoliosis at age 27.
I always wanted to be a grease monkey, but
Yeah.
now I'm here working for Pfizer
Yeah.
like a loser.
Right. No, what you wanted was like this fucking cool blue collar idea you have of yourself.
Yeah.
And then not actually have to do any of the fucking work.
Yeah, they've just imagined themselves like wiping grease off their
Right, exactly.
forehead with a,
Yeah.
a rag.
Yeah, you wanted
and then
to hold
drinking a beer.
You wanted
know?
to hold a giant wrench on a calendar.
You just wanted overalls.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
literally all you wanted was overalls and boots.
Fuck, I'm trying to go overalls. That's a nice look.
They used
Yeah,
to, when
yeah,
I was a
it's
little
back.
kid, when I was an actor, they would dress me up in overalls and like a flannel
Yeah.
shirt, just in case any of those directors wanted to
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
a farm
yeah.
boy. They wanted to have private time in the barn with me.
You didn't get molested by
I
anyone.
didn't get,
did
and that was my
not?
sexual prime when I was 10.
Yeah, you were hot.
Well, I was like 7,
had that-
7, 8, 9. It was
You
like
had that little blonde bowl
Let me tell you
cut?
right now, it was like fucktown, and
You're
it
a
never
piece of
happened.
ass, yeah.
Because my parents didn't know what to do. Like they were just white trash, Long Island. Like
They didn't know how to
they
put
didn't-
that,
no,
how to
they didn't-
shop that little boy pussy.
They didn't pimp this ass
They didn't put you on the stroll.
the way they should have. No, they didn't put me on the
You could have
stroll.
fucked Gary Goddard.
I
dude.
could have been riding fucking Brian Singer all the way, and I would have back then because I wasn't as heavy as I am now. Like I would have.
You had the knees-
I was in dance too. I was in dance. I was the Boogie Woogie
beautiful.
Bugle Boy. The things I would have been able to do to these.
No one
people.
tried to fuck you ever as a
No,
kid.
I had one dude. So I was in a community theater production of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Beautiful.
I was Happy the Dwarf, and the director said to me, I had to be like, I was like maybe 9 or 10, and the director came up to me and he like held my hand. He's like, "Listen, I just want to let you know I'm a really good person to talk about girls with.
Oh,
Like if you
shit.
ever have anything to talk about,
If you ever
and
wanna
don't wanna talk
practice-
about it with your family, talk about it. So I knew immediately. I was like, oh, this loser who's not in SAG
Yeah,
is
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to fuck me.
He was a beta.
Yeah.
If he was an alpha, you would have ended up fucking
If he was
him.
an alpha, if he just grabbed me and kissed me and was like, "Get this, do this," I would have fucked him because I was looking to get fucked. I was very sexually active as a kid. Like there was an Indian kid in South Pacific with me, and we used to play this game in the bathroom where we would go top this, and you would just show different parts
Each
of your
other's
body.
asses.
Well, I'd just be like, top this, and somebody take his shirt off. Be like,
Right.
top this. You'd show somebody like your
Hilarious.
pubic hair, and you so I was like. I was
Yeah.
really looking.
Yeah.
So any of these directors, if you had the littlest bit of game, I would have been
You-
choking it down
absolutely.
like a champ, and I
Yeah,
would have kept
You're
my
around
mouth shut.
amateurs. You're around.
Yeah, I was around amateurs. There's nothing worse than a pedophile who's like a
Yeah,
fumbling,
have some courage.
insecure. You know what I mean?
The nice guy pedophile.
Hey, what do you maybe
The
want
high
to come over and
sweetie
eat candy
pedophile.
later?
Yeah, nothing is worse than a cuck pedophile. You know? Hey, can
He
you come
hires a
over?
little kid to fuck his
Yeah.
wife.
Can you come over so my friend can fuck you? It's like, no, bro. No. Either you fuck me or we're not doing this.
Yeah. So the reason we had Tim on is because Tim is an expert on like conspiracy theories, specifically some of the. You've interviewed the guy that wrote.
I feel like my career's over. Been on this 15 minutes.
Oh, it's fine.
Like nobody's moving forward with anything. Ah.
It doesn't matter. All of our careers are over
Yeah,
because,
it's true. That's
because
a
we're
good
getting
point.
too close to the truth.
Yes.
There was a CIA plant at the show last night asking
Really?
questions.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah?
I think I look around. I think everybody's a fucking plant.
Everybody's a plant. Everybody's doing something.
Yeah.
I did a lot of.
You interviewed DeCamp, right? The guy from.
The camp died. I interviewed a guy named Nick Bryant who wrote a
Oh,
book
okay.
called The Franklin Scandal about a pedophile, a child sex trafficking ring out of Omaha, Nebraska in the 80s and you know probably before that too, but it came to light in the 80s. And it was because I saw a documentary on Netflix called Who Took Johnny, which is like a really scary,
Yeah.
you know, real world type. It's like the real Stranger. Like people watch Stranger Things,
Right,
and they're like,
right.
isn't that entertaining? It's like it's not if you know about
Right.
like
Stranger Things, by the
Yeah.
way, you need any more evidence that there's a fucking pedophile ring in Hollywood.
Right.
Explain why suddenly a toothless boy is the biggest child star. in the
Yeah. People got mad at me on
closed,
Twitter because
folks.
I said I was dating Finn Wolford as a joke. joke.
Yeah.
And as a joke, and people kind of got angry with me. They're like, "That's not fun to joke about."
Yeah, especially when it turns out his agent was raping
Yeah.
his
He was,
entire
yeah.
roster.
Listen, that's the problem. Now you make a joke, and then like a week later, everything you've joked about is fact. It's
100%.
like, well, I don't.
Well, you know who I think about too, because you think about who got raped the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your mind immediately goes to Corey Feldman, but he's at least able to talk about it.
Yeah.
And who really got it? Short Round.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know Short Round.
Who's short
guy.
round?
From Indiana, Jones.
Oh.
I think he was also Data from the Goonies.
Oh,
I think he
okay.
was both of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
He just never had a real name. That's how
Yeah,
much
yeah.
they fucked him, is that he was so fucking inhuman.
Yeah.
That he was
No,
just
I mean
descriptions.
the 80s were very like Asia-phobic or whatever you want. They were
Yeah.
like really every 80s movie was really racist to Asian people.
Yeah.
And 90s too.
It wasn't a
Seinfeld.
great time for Asians being represented, or
Representation.
for kids in Hollywood that just didn't want to get fucked by middle-aged dudes. That decade was rough. But no, you start looking into this stuff, and you start actually realizing that a lot of it is true, and a lot of it makes sense, because if you're a wealthy guy and you are a pedophile, you're not going to pull a kid off the street.
Of course not.
Like, there's got to be some system.
Some quality control.
There's got to be some quality control.
Institution, yeah.
Yeah, and you start looking into this, and you're like, oh, this is probably more right than wrong.
Right. Yeah.
And it's kind of terrifying. And then you're also like, a lot of people that looked into that particular thing, the Franklin scandal, died. They were
Damn.
killed. You know, the private investigator who went and got pictures of these kids, because it's a lot of this is a blackmail operation.
Who
number
was
one.
running this Omaha thing?
Yeah, there was a guy named Larry King. It was like one of the rising stars in the Republican Party. He sang
That's
the national
awesome.
anthem at the 1984.
That's
He was like
awesome.
good friends with Maureen Reagan.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah, he was a black Republican, a prominent guy.
Oh,
and
fuck.
he'd embezzled $40 million from the Franklin Credit Union, Omaha, Nebraska. So when the Nebraska legislature was like looking into that, people were going to them and going, no, the real story is that he's also running an interstate pedophile network.
Holy fuck.
And they're like, really? And they started looking into that, and he was plundering boys from Boys Town, which was that big
it's
orphanage.
It's a podcast. It's a very successful podcast.
Yeah, boy, this is a successful podcast. But like, they plunder kids from these really vulnerable kids that are in
my
orphanages,
God.
and it's horrible.
Holy
and the guy,
shit.
so then they hired
Yo,
a private.
imagine being an orphan and getting fucked.
It's rough.
It's like,
It's very-
can I just play some PlayStation
Yeah, it's
without
like-
parents?
right.
I have to get my fucking whole
and then
stuff.
the private investigator, this guy Gary Caradori, who was like, tapped.
Great-
He was a really
great
good
name.
investigator. He went and supposedly got these photos, and there's 5 different people that confirm he did receive these blackmail photos, because it's like a blackmail op. It's like CIA or whoever's like, you fuck a kid, we have a photo of that, we have a video of that, we own you forever.
Right.
You can never, you're against the what? You don't like the Dakota Access Pipeline? Like, take a look at that. So a lot of these things were blackmail ops.
That's weird to me, because I feel like if, let's just say I had fucked a kid
Yeah.
for whatever reason,
Yeah.
and the
'Cause
CIA
it's
was
hot.
blackmailing me.
Yeah.
I feel. I mean, I don't know, because I'm not in that position, but I would be like, all right, everybody, look, you're gonna be pretty mad. I get that. Now, I fucked a kid, but
Yeah.
I'm being blackmailed by the CIA.
It's worse.
This is fucking insane.
No, but
You
that's
gotta-
amazing. Like a guy who goes out there, he's like, listen, okay.
I'm gonna level.
I gotta be honest.
I'm gonna level with you right now.
Level with you. I have been fucking kicked, but this healthcare plan is not fair. This is not fair, and I will not vote for it. I don't care what they have on me. But no, this guy Gary Caradori was flying back with his son, who was 8 years old,
Oh my God.
from getting these pictures. His plane mysteriously broke up in the middle of the. So it's weird.
whole plane?
The whole plane. It was a private
You think
plane.
they took out everyone for Caradori's?
No, it
ass?
was him and his son. It was like a private
Oh,
plane.
private
Yeah.
plane.
No, yeah, they'll take people out, because this is the type of shit that like this can't get out. This isn't like infidelity. This isn't like you know what I mean? This is like
Yeah, this is
you
like
know,
some
this is bad.
medieval like witchcraft type
It's
shit.
bad stuff, man. It's no good. It's no good. And there's kids don't have a lobby. Like, kids don't have a group. There's no Jezebel for children. It's like, what about these kids
No,
getting
Highlights
fu- yeah.
magazine.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Goofus gets
Yeah.
raped.
Right.
Gallant, on the other hand,
Highlights
thinks acting is
yeah.
gay.
Yeah. Here's this
No.
map where you can trace the kids to their escape. You know?
Yeah, it's amazing. Get out of a sex
Yeah,
dungeon.
get out of fucking Gary Goddard's house. And Nick had me on this whole thing because we wrote on Instagram the other day that like, Because I was more into the political realm of this, but you look at it in the entertainment world, and that's probably. I mean, it's happening there
The
too.
entertainment world is worse at covering it up than the government is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The
Well, they don't
government,
have the
if there is
CIA.
a government pedophile
yeah.
thing happening, I mean, it's like it's not like, like Bill Clinton has Juanita Broderick.
Right.
Bryan Singer has like 9 different Juanita Brodericks
Yeah.
that were all 12 at
Yeah.
the time.
Right.
Well, there's also
And that-
some overlap because that billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein had that island, and it's like
Yeah.
Bill Clinton was
Kid
on his
fuck
plane.
island.
Kevin
But,
Spacey
like,
was on his plane.
Even
There's,
Juanita
like, an
Broderick,
overlap.
I mean, there was a $70 million federal investigation into Juanita Broderick. So it's like,
and which came out with what? Nothing.
yeah, inconclusive, or
Okay.
that it
Which
wasn't
is what
true.
a lot of rape cases. I mean, in fairness to her, do
Yeah,
come-
but I mean, Ken Starr was like, he wanted
Yeah.
that to be real,
Right,
You know,
right.
I mean, it uncovers all these other things that
Yeah.
are like, like sexual harassment
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
whatever. Like, why go that far
Yeah.
to tarnish the reputation of the president and then cover that part up?
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean,
There's Hollywood. I think is more flagrant. I think the government. There are people in the government. Denny Hastert got away with it for years. People get
Right.
away with it.
Well,
Right.
Denny Hastert is like what he got caught for was paying
Yeah.
hush money to a guy that he molested way back in the 70s.
Correct. Yeah.
He
Damn.
paid out something like $3 million. Now,
Yeah.
in terms of the time period between the 1970s and when he was exposed in 2012,
Yeah.
it's like, is there evidence that he was molesting more people, or was that something he was doing in his younger days? So,
Well, I would
Yeah.
imagine. I don't
When he
think
still had
pedophilia is
the-
something you grow out of. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like it's not something where you're like, in the '70s, we all had a couple
Yeah,
of
we
crazy
all had a-
nights,
yeah.
but now I'm into parkour. I think
Yeah,
it's.
yeah.
I think it is a disease that. And listen, there was a guy in
I don't
Washington.
know. I used to be pretty into thick women. And,
Yeah.
and
Maybe you get into fat kids as you get older.
Maybe that's it.
It's like Hastert.
know.
His
Yeah.
knees weren't the same as they
I was
were in
gonna
the
say
70s.
I'm not anymore, but that's not true.
Yeah,
So-
you still like those thickies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know, but I do think it's one of those things that it does seem to be a lifelong problem. For people. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta be honest, it does seem to be a lifelong issue.
My only point with
people.
Hastert is like Hastert is just because
Yeah.
there has to be a dissenting voice if we're having a conversation.
Absolutely, I agree
about,
with you.
about like whether or not a global pedophile. Ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to play devil's advocate, because I
Yes.
do think it is real.
Yes.
Is that it's that like it was like a single incident.
Just
It's
if my
not-
manager called me going, "Why weren't you the devil's advocate? Why weren't you the?"
like with Epstein, like the charges brought against him versus the overwhelming evidence and the amount
Yeah.
of like documentation of him like repeatedly raping underage girls,
Yeah.
hundreds of times in some
Yeah.
instances, and then being sentenced to 18 months for solicitation
And one of the
count of like lewd solicitation.
Yeah, and one of the things in the agreement was that he would not have to name any co-conspirators. And the guy that structured that whole Epstein agreement now is like a federal judge. It's like
Oh,
crazy.
shit.
It's like legit crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
His
the,
lawyer, you're saying?
the police
The guy
department-
who I forget, I think it was either the judge that signed off on it or the attorney. Nick Bryant, the guy who wrote the Franklin scandal, was the one who was telling
the
me about that.
connection.
They were like, because you look at what happens to all these people who kind of just stay quiet.
Right.
They are promoted.
Yeah,
It's just the same thing. Those people at 9/11 who like, all these fucking, in Alex Station, the Bin Laden unit, like all these people who like screwed up intelligence, like they just shut up and they were promoted. I mean, that's kind of the way the government works.
Yeah.
You just shut up, you get promoted. Don't dime on anybody and
Fail
you're fucking,
upwards. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why black women just never can advance. In the
Right. They're always
impossible for them to be
always
part of it.
heroically talking shit. He was fucking them kids.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're done. You're done here.
Fuck, I needed to hit the couch.
Well, that's
man.
what the government, the reason everybody in the federal government gets away with fucking kids in every position is because in every office, they only fuck kids for the first 10 to 15 minutes when the day starts at work.
Right.
So none of the black women are there to witness it.
Right. It's true.
Otherwise,
It's like, Charlene is due in at about 10:26.
8:17 sharp.
Yeah, yeah. She's gonna come in and yell about Starbucks for 3 minutes. She won't even notice the kids leaving.
I told her that is not a culotta. I got a culotta every day. A culotta is not red.
Oh fuck, dude.
Yeah, they love Dunkin' Donuts. That's the thing.
It's
crazy.
good. Dunkin'
But Nick
Donuts
was
is good.
Nick was said something on Instagram like, is Spielberg like? What do you think would happen if it like came out that Spielberg was like the guy?
Well,
Yeah,
then
just
I
who
think
was
that
like the puppet man? Like that's all of our childhood.
Right.
Destroyed.
well, I think that brings the whole Holocaust into question because
Right.
of Schindler's List.
yes.
Oh shit.
Exactly. If you can impeach his credibility from being the head of a child sex ring,
And they
then
will.
How
And
do
there
we
will be
know?
think pieces like let's take a look at Schindler's List.
No, really though, if
Spielberg was never good at
if
making
that
movies.
did come out, there would probably be a civil fucking war. I mean, the kind of like shock
'Cause
that
of
would have to
E.T.?
America. No, because of like
I don't know
everything.
about a civil war. We're such a lazy country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
But
are.
it would be shocking.
That would cause
Yeah.
the kind of social unrest that
It would be
fucking,
bad.
It would create like widespread cultural schizophrenia. People would lose their fucking minds.
It would be really crazy. It is almost something where if he is, I'm even like cover it up.
Yeah.
Good God.
Kill him
Don't-
secretly.
Yeah, don't let this out.
Well, that's
Give
the
him
thing.
something.
I was reading about all this shit, and like the interlocking triangle, the triangle pedophile logo or
for
whatever.
Nambla.
That was on the Besta Pizza,
Yeah.
sign or whatever. Which it could be a coincidence,
Right.
which is like very funny for the people who own that business.
It is.
if it is.
Yeah.
But it's also on the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department badge.
I know. But then
Awesome.
you start going like, why?
Awesome.
Like, as a guy that thinks these things are real, I'm like, why do that?
Well, if
why
the
even?
implication is that it's on
Yeah.
the badge because the LA County Sheriff's Department is an organization that since the 1930s has been systematically raping children,
Yeah.
then it's like, well, I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
what
that.
do you do?
Well,
No,
You get some cops, like you make your own private cop force. Cops
Yeah.
are always gonna.
Well,
We're
I mean,
fucked.
there's injustices all over the fucking world. If like it's
all over the world and in developing countries and
Oh
you know
my
when you
God.
go to places like Thailand, the sex trade, the
Yeah.
child sex trade is fucking
It's good.
crazy.
It's a bargain.
It is good. And let me
Compared
tell
to
you right now,
America,
in
you
Singapore,
get your
they'll
money's
execute
worth.
you for spitting. So it's
Right.
like that seems like just as bad. I think.
right,
You know.
right.
Just
and in
as bad
Thailand,
as
they're like,
raping
spit
kids.
on that kid's
Yeah,
dick.
killing
Yeah, yeah.
people is worse than
I don't think
raping
they
children.
kill people for spitting. I think they cane you.
Yeah,
You get a lashing.
You get a lash.
I had
Yeah.
there was. I
Wouldn't
wrote-
that be great if in Thailand, like for spitting, you get one lash,
Yeah.
for fucking a kid, you get two? One guy's like, well, it makes sense. I'll just get the other lash. Like,
Well, you gotta spit on the kid's asshole.
Right.
first.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Wet
it up.
But a couple years ago, I wrote an article when I was doing that Nicole shit. That was like, the headline was like, "So are we just not going to tell Chinese people that New Year's was a month ago?" And it was like, like
Right,
a ditzy girl,
Yeah.
like thinking they were confused. And all these Singaporese people got mad at me.
oh, boy.
Oh, wow.
And I had some poet from Singapore that was like,
Oh, I remember
this
this.
man needs to be in jail."
What?
Because in Singapore, they don't have freedom of speech.
Let me tell you right now, he would fit right in here. He would fit right in here.
He said you needed to go to jail.
Yeah, they were like, you should be arrested for that.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah,
'cause
you
they
should
just
be in
don't
jail.
have-
You've said something that's bothered us. You should be behind bars. Absolutely. And I love people that like that's where society is now. We're like that's not even a controversial statement.
Yeah,
now.
no, Sean King
Not
said
even-
about
yeah.
Louis C.K. He's
Yeah.
like, he should be in prison.
Is that what he said?
Sean King called for Louis C.K. to be in jail.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Sean King was also the guy when
honking.
that white guy was kidnapped by Black Lives Matter people. Like I don't even know if they were Black Lives Matter people, but it was like a retarded white kid. And there was a video of
Yeah,
him
relax.
getting
Yeah,
tortured.
right.
Relax.
by-
You're not on Gas
Kumia.
Digital right
Kumia.
now.
I know exactly what I'm on. Fuck you, by the way. I know exactly what I'm on. You might think this is 2 years ago.
This is one of the leading podcasts of the left.
No, this is the and then Sean King was like, I can't feel bad for this kid. It's like, whoa,
What?
Yeah, he's like, I
Did
can't
he
get
say
upset
that?
about this. Yeah, he's
A
like, I can't get
retarded
upset
kid
about
being
this
tortured?
injustice. Yeah, because he's like, there's so much injustice that white people are, which I understand, don't give a fuck about. But it's like strange that that's your.
You don't have empathy. Like you see
Yeah,
that, you
it's a
feel
weird
bad. Don't
response.
lie about it.
I mean, I just love that Louis C.K. should be in jail. It's like, okay, there was no crime committed, but okay,
Yeah.
he's a pervert. Great, lock him up. Let's
Right.
lock everybody up.
Well, Hillary, lock
that's
her
why
up.
you just got to acquire as much money and power as possible.
Yeah.
So you can be
So
untouchable.
you could have an island.
I'm gonna have to make so much money that in 5 years, when saying rape jokes is illegal, I can have my private secret rape joke ring.
Yeah.
Where me and my millionaire friends fly to a private island and say, "You already told her twice."
Or by the way, or like it goes the other way, where like there is no special without rape jokes. In which case, every hack that we know, who's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
tweeting about pressure, like, will then go the other way.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
I
Very
think it's
quickly.
gonna happen.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
No,
that
that's the
seems
worst
plausible.
part about all of this, like, you know, like cultural rabies that people
Yeah.
have, and
Right.
you know, go nuts over this shit, is that when they calm down and realize that like they've completely overshot the mark of whatever justice they were trying to accomplish,
Yeah.
and they're like setting a precedent for all of these sort of repressive ideas, you know, to
Yeah.
shut down speech, or they don't realize that it could be used against them.
Well, the other thing is
Uh,
too, it's like there's so many
well,
useful idiots in
yeah.
this that aren't even ideologues. They're like careerists or cynical opportunists,
Right.
And they're just like out there saying literally whatever they think can advance their own career.
Sure.
It's like
Right.
that's like gross
Right.
on another
Wh-
level.
Whenever they calm down, they turn
Yeah, right.
around and then
Right.
pretend like they discovered that this was a
Yeah,
problem.
Yeah,
or
they've
right.
come
gone
to
too
a
far.
realization.
Like
Yeah.
Eve did that shit with the, like, you know, creating dog piles, and then like 2 weeks later, like, maybe dog piling people isn't such a good idea.
And what was dogpiling?
It's like when you call somebody out for a thing, and
and
like,
then a bunch of other people online that
yeah,
follow
get
you
into it,
also
and
join in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They do this thing on Twitter called follow shaming, where if you
Yeah, if you
follow
follow
somebody, that's like, it's an endorsement, because to them it is. Their entire world is wrapped up in who follows you and what kind of metrics you're getting on Twitter.
psychotic.
Also, you can just follow someone and not like them. You just
why
wanna-
wouldn't you
like, what the
follow
fuck?
enemies? By the way,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's what makes
why,
the world
Why
fun.
wouldn't you follow people you disagree with? How would you then? Like, I follow people I don't agree with at all. Why? What benefit to me? Even if you were like a staunch leftist, why wouldn't you follow Ann Coulter? Why wouldn't you want to know what they're doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's comics, but I think it's more of a problem with fucking media people. But
Yeah.
they do this thing where they're like, you know, socially drafting each other, where
Yeah.
they'll pretend to like somebody until they think they can like just surpass them somehow.
Yeah.
And then just leapfrog over them and throw them down into the
Right.
fucking garbage pit they crawled out of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
it's all
BuzzFeed
careerism
listicles.
and
Of course.
fucking parasitic nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then none of it's funny. That's the other thing.
Whoa,
It's like,
whoa, whoa, fuck.
Yeah, that's my girlfriend said that about like all the female comedian articles that came out after Louis. Like she was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I read all these articles and none of them are funny. Like,
some
I
of them
don't
made
get,
some
like-
great points, but some of them had so many metaphoricals. Like there was one comedian who I like, who wrote an article in the Times, and she had some good points. But one of the lines in the thing was she was like, "Well, if I was a man, would my wife be watching the baby so I could go out and do theaters?" And it's like there are so many metaphorical things. It's like if this was this and this was that, then why would? And it's like, what is this? Where are we going
yeah,
here?
yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
You know, we're talking about a guy who's a pervert who did the wrong thing
sure.
and has now lost everything pretty much, other than beating the guy, flogging him in the street, murdering him, taking the money out of his bank account. What else
Yeah.
are we going to do to this guy?
Well, it's also
You know?
the one that they never consider is like, yeah, what if your parents were rich and they floated your entire UCB education?
Yeah.
What kind of advantage would you have over
Yeah,
like,
and what are the
everybody
chances
else?
of that?
Right, exactly.
I know most people at UCB are working their way through Burger King.
Right.
Yeah.
When I go to
Yeah,
Burger
yeah.
King, I ask everybody working there, how many people are doing UCB improv? Every hand goes up.
Exactly.
Every
Exactly.
hand goes up in that. They're flipping burgers and doing improv.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
Nothing funnier than UCB. Nothing funnier than a good jam.
A bunch of adults playing dress up.
Yeah, a guy pretending to be a tree at 37 years old. Nothing funnier than that. No family, nothing else. Just a nice little apartment in the East Village and the adoration of a bunch of losers.
Well, did you see that Mike Birbiglia movie?
Sleepwalk with me?
Is that the one about the
No,
improv?
No,
you
I
did.
went to the premiere of the improv one because Gethard was in it, so I went to the premiere.
I watched it. I'm like, is this a movie?
Oh yeah, it was a movie.
I mean, it's just like,
Oh yeah.
I never saw it.
it's like, I mean, I guess maybe it's because I'm like so close to comedy, but this looks like somebody, like a boring improv person, just complaining about their week.
Yeah. My favorite part of that movie, there's one part where one improv person says to another one, they go, "You don't have it." And I'm like, "Oh, that one I like." That was the other one. I was like, "That was good. That was great.
You
I'll
should
take
quit.
that." They were like, "You should quit. You don't have it." I'm like, "Oh, good. Yeah, okay."
Yeah.
Tell everyone that.
I like that.
I don't know. I mean, I get maybe that's what a movie is supposed to be, just
Yeah.
an accurate portrayal of boring
of
people.
something, yeah.
It was just kind of it was weird. I get that that's a whole different experience. There are funny people at UCB, and I kid around. I like make fun of it, but I'm sure that that's a whole different experience that I never had and never wanted to have. I never wanted to be on a team.
Yeah.
So I
yeah,
never
yeah.
understood like that's what I like about stand up is where it's kind of like you're accountable to yourself.
Yeah.
And you're out there and you're doing your own thing, and you do work with other people you care and respect about. You work on projects together, but this whole idea of like having a team and then also paying like paying money to be in this emotional Ponzi
Exactly.
scheme, which is what UCB is.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of the people at UCB then become the stage manager.
Right,
And I'm like,
right,
this
right,
could
right,
not
right.
have been the goal
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
you walked in the door. Like, there's no way that this, like, you weren't like, I don't want to be Amy Poehler. Fuck that.
No.
I want to
wanna
be
run
part of this
lights.
building. Like, one of the stage managers literally said to me, he's like, I feel like I'm part of this building. And I'm like, oh, that's psychotic.
I feel like I got my
sad.
dick caught in the glory hole in the
Yeah,
bathroom.
yeah. I feel like I'm part of this building.
Amber Phyllis is
That's horrible, dude.
shitting on the floor.
Oh no, don't shit.
Is that the white cat?
Yeah,
That's mystical.
she likes to shit on the floor sometimes.
Listen, don't we all?
Yeah,
Don't we all like to shit on the floor?
yeah.
That's what we do.
That story you told about, or I guess no, fucking the other half of Gas Digit, Ralph Sutton.
yes.
Ralph Sutton's
Our
story
leader.
about on the cruise.
Yes.
On the cruise, the guy just shitting in the hallway.
Yeah, Ralph Sutton does a cruise called Shiprocked, which the Legion of Skanks guys go on to provide comedy in between the overdosing that goes on listening to Papa Roach.
That's what's so funny is like you imagine all these child sex rings in like an island where people
Yeah.
abuse children, and how that's like this. If it's real, it's this disgusting secret.
Yeah.
It's also like, yeah. Do you know about cruises?
Yeah.
You know what happens on a cruise?
Yeah, you know what goes on the Warped Tour cruise? Yeah, but he goes on this thing called Shiprocked, and it's just like
That's why that David Foster Wallace essay about going on the cruise.
It's
is
so
great.
funny.
No,
So-
it's
yeah.
the worst. Of
No.
all of them. because
I
he
haven't
just
read
spends
it.
the whole time thinking about how smart he is. He
I
doesn't
like
talk
that
about any of the
essay.
funny shit.
you got to talk about what goes on in these things. They
Yeah.
are
He
psychotic.
talks about how shitty a cruise is. What's
the
it
porn
called?
one's really good. Have you ever read that one?
Yeah, about the AVN Awards, and who's in that? Bobby Slayton.
Yes, he's the
Yeah.
MC.
Yeah.
He's MCing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What do
shit's
they
all over
call
Bobby
Bobby Slayton? I forget.
The
What-
Pitbull.
Yid
The
Vicious.
Pitbull.
Yeah.
Yid Vicious.
Yid Vicious.
That's his other name.
Yeah, man. But they love those cruises. Like Ralph does a Motorhead cruise. He's like the MC of a cruise, like which they don't need.
Right.
But
Yeah,
he
yeah,
does it.
yeah.
Like there's no need. Literally, you just need someone to do an announcement on a loudspeaker. But like Ralph gets up with his personality and he's like, and now Slipknot. And everyone's like, okay. Slipknot could just walk out on the deck and start playing. But Ralph like adds a little something to it. But like tomorrow's 80s night.
Good
so-
for him. He sneaks in a vacation.
Yeah, he makes a little money, man. Yeah, why not? I was on that Impractical Jokers cruise. It was
I wanted to go on that. Lewis said he would.
you shoulda came.
Lewis said he would have figured out a way to get me in on.
you
that.
should have came. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to. I
everyone
said
had a
Lewis.
+1.
Really?
I don't know why the fuck. I guess Lewis
Fuck.
brought his girl or
He
something.
brought his chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just what? They have a long distance relationship.
She's moving to New York.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's weird. That seems like I don't think I can't imagine that Lewis could manage any kind of distance relationship,
Right.
Unless there was like a lock on the door,
Yeah.
to prevent the woman from leaving.
Right. Well, the good thing about the
good for him.
Yeah,
being
well, the
able to-
good thing about the long distance relationship is she would come to New York every couple of months, and by the time she came to New York, like the bruises from him hitting her had like
healed.
dissipated, you know? So it was just kind of like a light shade
Sure,
of the eye.
sure. A little shimmer.
But yeah, she's moving to New York, so.
That's
you know.
good. Good for him.
Have you guys ever gone on a cruise just otherwise?
No.
Were there any trashy like Long Island boat, like getting drunk on a boat happy
Yeah,
hours?
there are people that are first of all, there are people that are fans. Like I love The Sopranos, but if you told me like, hey, you can go do karaoke with Edie Falco on a boat, I would throw something at you. I'd be like, what are you talking about? But these are people who are like, you want to spend a week with the Impractical Jokers? They're like, yes, and they are so excited. Like you
That's
cannot
so weird.
understate how excited they are. Like, so here's one thing. I'm in a shitty cabin on the fifth
Yeah,
floor.
yeah.
I don't have a balcony. Like Bert Kreischer's got like a amazing suite, as he
triple
should.
deck
It's
suite.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
like a living room, dining room. And I have a porthole. I'm like looking out. I mean,
Yeah,
it's fucking. One of the Jokers, I don't even know who the Jokers are. I know Sal. I don't even know who the other ones are.
Right.
So one of the
Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger,
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Jeffrey Epstein and so and
Leonardo DiCaprio.
so one of the Jokers is named Murr, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, like the captain's announcement comes on, and you hear this: "Hello, it's your captain, Murr," and the fucking cabin's on either end of me go, ah! And he starts laughing and screaming. Like it's the funniest thing they've ever heard. They're like, ah,
That's so
it's
funny.
Murr. Murr's the captain now. But he's not. But he is. And I'm like,
They love it.
and then you just port in this fake town called Costa Maya. which is a
Where is
sandbar in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's a sandbar that Royal Caribbean spent like $400 on, and they just have tchotchke stands where these fat tourists go buy magnets. And then there's beaches, and to get you to the beaches, they have to drive you through legitimately a third world hellhole where people are running around without shoes, and there's like if you go stay at a resort, they take great pains to not show you any of this. They pick you up in a car, they drive you right to a resort, but you're on a trolley, like an open air trolley with other cruise people, like old, like Jewish people from Florida. They're like, this looks kind of scary. And there's people without shoes, and there's chickens and huts, and it's like, and then you go up to the beach, like, we're at the beach, and it's like, wait, what? And it's bad, and that's why the rest of the world hates us as Americans, because we just like dock these floating buffets outside the poorest places in the world and march morbidly obese people through these people's
fattest,
and they're eating gum for dinner. These people, they're like they're shot, and then like our people are just like there's people that got off our cruise on scooters, like fat, like motor scooters, and then like go down the pier in the motor scooter. It's like disgusting.
Do they have like a duck boat version of the motor scooter? Just go out. It's a jet ski and also a hover round.
They had like all these fat people went and did that fish foot thing where like fish eat.
They do in Singapore. Yeah,
what the fuck is that?
Dude,
they eat the dead skin on your feet.
Oh, it's so gross, bro.
No,
and all
it's
these
like a
people,
pedicure. It's a form of a pedicure.
Again, no.
Dude, and these
I don't know. That
That'd
seems
be-
kind of nice.
it's
Yeah,
so
well, you're a
bad,
fucking
and they're just
disgusting piece of
people put
shit.
these fat like ribeye size steak feet in this fish tank, and these fish are just eating it.
I love it. That
And I'm
sounds
like,
great.
this is just.
I feel
this
so
is
bad
what
for
we
those
are.
fish.
It's horrible for the fish. It's not fun for the fish.
They're gonna. There's like in millions of years, those fish will evolve into sentient, like you know, fucking like beings with consciousness,
dude.
and that trauma is going to be ingrained into their psyche.
And then when we
100%.
came back, we all this like who's leaving after us? The Kiss cruise.
Oh,
There's a Kiss cruise, and Gene Simmons and stuff. They just get there will be a cruise for everything. There's a Walking Dead. Paramore has a cruise. Parahoy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Parahoy.
Sugar Ray had a cruise for a
Oh,
sec.
yeah. Because listen, when you're out of that 18 to 35 demo, you're like not the hot thing anymore. Like you're getting on the boat.
why is the fish thing okay, but it's wrong to put peanut butter on your dick and have a
And
dog
have your
look
dog.
at it?
Yeah.
I don't
not
know.
wrong. It's
Because
not
you know what?
wrong.
Fish. Nobody really gives a shit about fish. We don't. They're not.
They're not guys. They're not a person.
So
Yeah.
okay, what
It's
about
sexual,
What,
though.
Dog is
what
a
about
guy.
this? You go on a cruise to Belize and you can stick your cock in a toucan's beak.
Right.
Is that
Does
that
it feel
true?
good? Does it feel good?
I mean, I don't know. It looks like it would at least feel kind of fruity.
Yeah.
I
Does
think
my
there's
dick
a-
taste like Fruity Pebbles afterwards?
We're attached to our dogs and cats more so than fish.
Also, it's sexual. I think
there's too many
dogs
fish to care about.
dogs could lick your feet
All right,
clean.
well, but this way, if you had one of those tanks at home,
Yeah.
that would be weird.
Yeah.
for sure.
is
For
true.
sure.
If you had a fish tank at home that you stuck your fucking feet in to have fish
But you'd have
eat
beautiful
the skin
feet.
off
You'd have
your
beautiful feet, though.
You
was
wouldn't have
so-
any friends.
Yeah, it was weird, man. And I
just-
saw that.
I'll just
going
look at
down,
my
I was like,
beautiful
this is
feet all
not-
day.
This is gross.
Sam
Yeah.
Morrell was telling me that the last year, the cruise was the Bahamas, and a bunch of tourists would just come back just robbed.
Oh,
They
yeah.
would just want to go to the Bahamas, and they would just like
Which
get a
cruise?
machete pulled on the Practical
Yeah,
Jokers.
Practical
I think that's why they didn't. I think that's why they didn't dock in Jamaica
By the way,
this time.
here's the other thing. There's not a group of people on Earth that deserve to be robbed more than the people on that cruise. Like, there's not a single group of people that deserve to be like a machete to the neck.
What's the average net per victim? $17?
Oh God, not much.
Yeah.
because you don't carry any cash. They put all your purchases on your room key.
Right.
Oh,
They got
Yeah.
my,
yeah.
my
So at the end of the week, they're like 2A ate 15 pounds of shrimp.
they got my
and-
jet scarf and my Olive Garden gift certificate.
dude, and then some of them start talking about other cruises, and it's like
Oh,
crazy.
they're
They go,
cruise
they're
lifers.
cruise people. Like one lady turns to another lady. One woman goes like this. She's like, "Do you mind if I ask you a question?" Old lady's like, "No," and the woman goes, "What cruise line wouldn't you take?" And then the lady goes, like it was like a secret.
Right.
And then the lady goes, "Don't go Carnival." And then the other woman goes, "I've heard that," and I'm like.
Ugh.
God, what a nightmare.
Oh, imagine.
Way to spend your time on this planet.
Yeah.
And the boats are shitholes. They're disgusting.
Yeah.
Cruise ships are disgusting.
That story of the boat
Yeah.
that got stranded out at sea and everyone was sitting in their own shit.
Yeah.
For a week. That was like the best story.
It's the
in
best
world.
story ever. And by the way, it's not that much different from when it's working.
Yeah.
exactly.
It's not that much different from when it has power, by the way. You're just shitting and it's going down the toilet. It's just, It's horrible. They're bad, but people love it. They don't even go outside. They don't go in the water. They don't care.
They should have a fish that you shove up your ass that eats all the shit out of your colon.
I would love one of those. It gives you a colonic.
You just have the
Yeah.
tail sticking out. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, you're going to the pool? Hold on, I got to change my fish. You pull it out. Pop a new one in.
My fish is cleaning my colon right now.
That would rule, dude. I want fish to do everything for me. Shit, trim my pubes. You know what I mean? Put your
your
your balls
dick
in
in
The
there.
only
balls.
good fish is Pepperidge Farm goldfish.
Do you really like them as a snack?
Yeah,
I like
Interesting.
them.
You're a snack guy.
I am.
You
dude.
like vittles.
Yeah.
You like snacks.
I do.
Interesting.
I
He
do
does.
like snacks.
He likes little snacks.
does,
That's
yeah.
the only reason I got into television, right?
Yeah, you just get a little craft service.
Yeah, right. Well, not craft services.
Just the snack table.
in-office snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the kitchen.
Oh,
The
that's
checks
the
Are
best.
you a
Versus-
snack guy?
I'll snack, but I like a big.
I'm not a snack. No,
I
you're
like a big.
You're like me. You're like an 8-course meal.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're like, I like a roast. You're like, I like a pig roast.
I like
Yeah.
enough meat for a family of 5.
Yeah, I'm not a snack guy. It
No, I
just
like
doesn't.
a little some Nestle flips, a cigarette.
All
you
snacks
know.
to me become paste in your mouth.
Yeah.
I like them when I'm high.
Cookies,
I like them when I'm
crackers.
high.
Yeah, when I was high, I would eat cereal. When I used to
Beautiful.
smoke pot, I would
Oh.
eat. I love cereal.
What was your favorite cereal to eat?
I mean,
Stones?
I liked Golden Grams a lot. I liked everything. I
Respect.
liked Lucky Charms.
I like Golden Grams where they get a little soft.
I had a
Yeah,
dream last
you know,
Yeah.
let them sog in that
Absolutely.
middle. In
I had
that
a
middle
dream
ground.
last night I was eating Golden Grams.
It's amazing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You had a dream
I had
about
a dream about Golden Grams.
That's so interesting.
And I was mixing all kinds of cereal in a big bowl and drinking it. And
That's
drinking
beautiful.
Milk and
Yo, when
Were
my
you
mom
ha-
would bring Fruity Pebbles home, them shits would go so quick.
yeah.
We would.
Yeah.
She would go to Costco and just get like shit that was supposed to last us
The
weeks.
double-
and me and my
the
brother.
Is that why
Yeah.
you look like Fred Flintstone? Is 'cause
Yeah,
you-
that's why I have Flintstone feet.
We should do a. Me and you should do a Fred and Barney.
We really
Parody. We
should.
really
Yeah.
should.
You do
Just
for
eat
Halloween.
giant,
But
eat
with
ribeye
child rape.
steaks. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like Fred and Barney
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a dark
It's the
secret.
Lolita Express, but there's a hole on the bottom and it's
Yeah.
powered by your feet.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, come over
When
here.
I was like really smoking pot in 7th grade, my mother was also collecting McDonald's toys, so she would just keep going to
For
McDonald's
herself?
for her. Yeah, she wanted to save them and then sell them later in
Oh,
life.
because it'd be valuable.
that
You
was
know,
her.
I come from
What a
great
sucker.
stock.
Yeah.
That was her
Yeah,
investment.
she
plan.
was a sucker, but
Yeah,
she
yeah.
would put like Beanie Babies in shoe boxes. But she would then like my mom, my friends would like be at my house. We'd be stoned, and she'd show up at like 30 McDoubles. And she's like, I had to just keep going through the drive-thru to get all the toys.
Yeah.
And my friends would look at me and they were like, obviously this is laughable now.
Yeah.
But my friends would be like, dude, you have the best life.
Yeah, as a little kid, you're like,
Yeah.
whoa.
I'm like, yeah, it is
What?
pretty good. And
Bryson-
then like when I grew up, I was like, oh, she's schizophrenic. I'm obese. Oh, this is a problem.
Bryson Turner used to have a funny joke about that, about his white trash cousins that he'd go visit.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's just white trash people are just people that think everything an 8-year-old thinks is cool or still cool as an adult.
It's
It's
so
like we'd
true.
go over there and be like, whoa, you get to drink Mountain Dew for breakfast?
Yeah.
Look, they just park on the lawn. Wait, your bed is a race car. It was a very
I still
funny
think
joke.
that's cool.
R.I.P. Bryson Turner.
I
Where
would've
is
bet
he?
it's a
He's
race
dead.
car.
Is he really?
No, he,
All
he
right.
moved to Virginia Beach. So he might
God
as well
love
be.
him. Happier life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
actually,
probably.
yeah, he just
he's
got
probably
married
so
and,
much
like,
better
moved
than
it.
us.
I
At
know,
one
I-
point, he was doing something called Comedy Church, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is not gonna.
No.
This
Yeah.
is not gonna go well.
Right.
Didn't someone tell me he was trying to make it to the NBA like at like
He
29?
did, yeah. Bryson
Yeah.
kind of lost it. I mean, like I talked to him maybe once every 2 years now, but he seemed okay last time I talked to him. But like his thing was like he was when he was like 24, he just figured out comedy.
Yeah.
Literally every time he went on stage, he would have a new
Murder.
5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It would crush, and then they were always fully formed bits. It wasn't
Yeah.
like this
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
now
yeah.
where you can get away with just sort of being a personality. Or,
Right, right,
Yeah.
it would- like full bits, 3 tags. Just structured. He was just
Yeah.
good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you even if you're good at comedy, you still have to like play the fucking game.
And you have to
get just
maintain.
be-
And sometimes it's like, listen, you figured out comedy, so you got to figure out other things in life.
yeah.
So it's like you figure out comedy really early, and then you're like, oh, but like relationships and
Yeah.
all these other things I got to figure out. Like, I totally
yeah.
get it. Like, I totally
Yeah.
get people. I spoke to a kid. I went to dinner with a kid who quit. Who was like a really funny guy, and he was like, yeah, he was like, again, he started at 20. By the time he's 26, he was like opening for people, doing a lot of cool shit, and he was just like, yeah, but I got to a point where I hadn't done anything else with my life. Like, I didn't have a,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it's unhealthy to just
Yeah,
fucking be a comedian.
absolutely.
Well, Bryson just kind of burned himself out because he like didn't. He didn't have like patience really, I
Yeah.
guess, which he really shouldn't have. I mean,
Yeah.
like 10, 15 years prior, He
And it's
would have.
also
He
you-
could have just gotten a fucking hour-long HBO special.
Yeah,
and
you
been
find
fine.
out like when you get really good at something, then you're like, oh, that doesn't matter as much
Right.
as
Yeah.
like these others.
Also, he
things.
developed this ego, and like because of the ego, everyone was just waiting for him to fail. Like
Yeah.
people were so excited when he kind of lost.
He was
it.
a nice guy. I
He
always
was
saw
nice.
him.
He's
a
like
good
one of my
dude.
best friends.
Yeah.
And it was like people kind of had this spiteful, shitty attitude towards him
That
because
sucks.
he
Yeah.
was like a young, talented guy, and he was like, "Yeah, I know I'm the best comic."
Yeah.
And you can't do that in comedy.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You have to be like, even when you're a millionaire, you have to be like, I suck.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I'm not even good. I'm like, I barely like. I'm so worried about global warming, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
"Cool, thank you."
Yeah.
God, you're so conscious.
The,
Like,
well, it's-
the
but
next Louis special is about to be fire. It's about to be great.
now, what do
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
think? How long does he wait before he gets back in?
Well, he's doing Funny Moms in 2 weeks.
yeah,
Is he?
we booked
Skyping
him, yeah,
in.
yeah.
Is he gonna do it?
We got Louis
Ah.
Skyping in to Funny
Yeah,
Moms.
well, it's going to be sort of not exactly straight stand up. It's going to be sort of a take on.
Don't ruin the bit.
I won't
You
ruin it.
fucking
Come on,
idiot.
man.
Adam's like, I'll just telegraph the
I'm
funny
gonna-
right
I'm gonna-
out of this.
I will. Right.
Here's what it'll be exactly. And by the way, if anyone has issues with it, tweet us and we'll change it.
We're not actually going to.
No, I'm gonna get a video of a guy jacking off and superimpose Louis' face on.
Oh,
it.
that's fun.
And
That- I
put it
like
up on
that.
a projector on the show.
Okay,
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah, but
I
now
like
I've
that.
now,
But now
Adam
it's
ruined
ruined.
it by saying
Adam ruins
They
everything.
don't have a. Thank you. They don't have a
what they say.
projector set up at the.
We could
whatever.
have figured
okay.
something out.
Anyway,
Wouldn't it be great if there's an article came out about Adam Conover where they were like,
yeah.
he's killed 17 people.
Well,
Yeah.
there's
I'm
someone
sure,
woke
yes.
has to fall, right?
That's
Oh, there's
like
a-
Harry
I think it would just be
Kondabolu has to be
hilarious.
There's
raping
a
or
little
something,
boy in
right?
Adam's hair.
yeah.
Under that pompadour is an
Yeah.
infant that's covered.
Yeah,
in
it's like
semen.
Adam's like Adam ruins everything. He's like the next episode is like what you really don't know about Epstein's Island.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's fake. Don't look into it anymore. Don't do any more digging.
It's weird that we've gotten to this place in society where we're like now rooting for certain people to have done unspeakable, like damaging things.
I saw
to
somebody
other people.
posting like male comics. You better be fucking dripping ball sweat into your like male comics in general.
Yeah.
like,
All
you
of
just
us?
want
Yeah.
everyone to be accused of rape.
It's like it's also like why are we getting so giddy
Yeah.
about tragedy?
about people being hurt.
yeah,
and,
people
like,
are being
people's
victimized and
lives
hurt.
being-
Like,
yeah, yeah.
why are we all excited about
Well,
it?
what they're excited
It's-
about is careers being destroyed because
Right.
they're
That
so
opens
fucking
up
brain
spots.
damaged. Yeah, that
Yeah.
they think that this is going to create some kind of vacuum.
Yeah.
and it's not just like rich
Yeah.
people being like, "Oh, good, we don't have to pay Louis anymore."
Right.
Right.
Keep
We'll
more money
continue
for
make.
ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
No.
doesn't like. There's not going to be like, "Oh, great. Well, now we can have
Right.
9
Yeah.
trans people replace Louis."
yeah, right. Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's actually there was like that woman Jen Richards is like a trans woman, I guess. She was on that show The Cops.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
the
she's
FX
like,
show.
I guess I can announce it now. I was going to be on Louis' FX show, and that job's gone now because of this.
Yeah.
People are like, wow, now Louis costing trans women
Yeah.
jobs. It's like, no, the job he created for
Yeah.
a trans woman is gone.
Yeah.
Mike Lawrence was a
yeah.
writer on that, and I guess he doesn't have a job anymore either. But he went to that Katy Perry concert and just
Who?
danced his fears away.
Mike Lawrence posted a
Oh.
picture on
Yeah,
Instagram.
He's
like, I went to a Katy Perry concert, and
he said he cried during
entire time.
he cried during California Girls,
Oh
and he
my
finally
God.
accepted LA as his home, which I think is amazing. Imagine being a parent who took a 13-year-old girl to that concert, and you turn around and you see sweaty Mike Lawrence dancing and crying during California Girls. I think you would go, "This isn't safe, and we've got to go."
That deserves a call out.
You would
That's
think
crazy.
someone took their retarded son to Katy Perry. You saw that? Like
This
so-
adult disabled man.
And I love Mike, but they call me out when I post something fat on my Instagram, which happens every other week, so every other day.
Who's that?
I love the
If they
fat
all do,
post.
like Mike will be like, "Well, this is this is a very piggish thing," and I'm like, "All right, well, okay, you're gonna go to a party." I had dinner. I said this on podcast before. It was like one of the greatest things ever in my life was I had dinner with him and his wife in L.A. He said 3 things. They were all terrifying, and one of them he said, he goes like this: "We're eating mole. The mole is so good." He goes like this. He goes. He looks up at us. He's got like mole all over him. He goes, "Roast battle must evolve, or it will perish." And I just looked at his wife, and I'm like, "Are you guys getting to the beach at all? Or what do you think? Like, how's it been? The weather good?"
What do you guys do with that? I'm living in the shadow of my own kill.
Yeah. No. He destroys Ralphie May. I go downstairs the next day. We're on like the buffet line or whatever at Montreal, and I go, congrats. The whole festival's talking about it. He's like, but I am living in the shadow of my own kill. I'm like,
oh my god,
what is this? You're like,
Yeah, never
does
mind.
this
Comic
end?
books,
Like,
comic books are gay
Yeah,
again.
yeah, right.
Then you remember why people made fun of people that read comic books.
Yeah.
because they think their
Well,
whole
all the
life is
people-
Batman.
All the people that like comic books now didn't actually like comic books.
Right.
Mike
They may have
probably
read. I'm sure Mike did, but
Yeah,
most
he
of them
Mike's
read
the real
maybe
deal.
1 or 2 comic books. The same thing with wrestling. It's
Yeah,
like even
yeah.
if you fucking watched it every day, you're not these brain damaged adults.
one
that
thing I hand to Mike,
understand
and this is why I love Mike, is like he was like a real deal. Like you would talk about white privilege, like that guy worked at McDonald's for 7
Oh
years.
my
Like,
God, yeah,
nobody hustled harder than that guy, and nobody worked harder than that guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, he's great.
Fuck that.
He's funny
you know,
as shit too.
Yeah, he's like the guy.
Yeah.
Like when we
No,
were
the
all-
only complaint about
Yeah.
Mike is that he is autistic.
yeah, there is some of that.
And the thing that the cool thing about people that are like autistic or whatever is
Yeah.
they're rude by accident because they
Right.
don't understand, but it goes both ways.
Yeah,
you can straight
absolutely.
up be fucking rude as shit to them, and they don't.
Yes.
They
don't
I
care
do that
either.
to Beer Nerd all the time.
Right.
Right. That's
Anytime I
true.
see him, I say incredibly rude things right to his face. And he's like, "Yeah, yeah."
Yeah.
He doesn't.
You're a
just-
piece of shit.
I am
Yeah,
ugly and
yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, water off a duck's back.
Oh fuck, dude.
Okay, I guess I don't know the next thing to go into here. We already.
This
We
is
talked about
episode
child
5.
Well,
again.
we've done like 9 episodes on it.
On
we don't
what?
have to keep talking
On like
about
all of the all this like conspiracy.
Let's talk
theories. I
about
can't
Tim
believe it.
fucking like a fireman or something. You wearing an FDNY shirt? Have you ever fucked a fireman?
The first dude I blew was a fireman. He
Whoa.
was in the fireman. He was like training to be a fireman. He wasn't a real fireman.
first guy, first
a
dick in your
cadet.
mouth.
Yeah, first thing in my mouth.
Was
at
it because of
the
9/11?
Linden Motel in Brooklyn? It was because of 9/11. My parents arranged it. My father looked at me and he said, "Son, are you a patriot?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, Uncle Tommy's been very stressed out seeing all his friends die in the 9/11. And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's
Yes.
like, "He would love your baby mouth on his cock." So,
They should have given them-
justified the Lolita Express.
yeah,
as
of
well.
course, yeah.
The airline
First
industry had
responders
to-
should have gotten 2 years to do whatever they wanted. You
I
know,
agree.
After
I
that.
agree.
No consequences.
No
I think that
consequences. The
fucking
purge.
Rudy Giuliani should have came out and said, "Hey, I know we cleaned up New York.
Listen, are you gonna get health care? No.
Yeah, you're not gonna
But
get health
for
care.
2 years. You can fuck as many boys. As
you do whatever
want.
you want. You want to run
broken
through.
assholes
Yeah, fuck everybody you want. But no, first dude I blew was a firefighter who was like, it was in a hotel in Brooklyn, like a
Nice.
motel in Brooklyn. We met on Craigslist.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
And
romantic.
like before I sucked his dick, he looked at me, literally, and I had to take his dick out of my mouth to say, okay. He looked at me and he goes, "I'm not fucking gay." And I took his dick out of my mouth and I went, "No, I know." And then I kept blowing him. And that was it. It was the hottest thing ever. So he was just like a beefy Italian guy.
You
And
should have said me either.
yeah, I was just, I know.
We're just from Brooklyn.
yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Hey,
yeah.
paisan.
Just having a
This
Brooklyn
is just
afternoon.
the way that we hang.
A tree gets hard in Brooklyn.
But that was fun. That was a fun time of life where you just smoke weed, drive around,
Get
and
sucked
suck
up-
dudes.
suck off
You know?
firemen.
That was. I mean, like we
I
all
remember.
had those times.
Was that pre,
Yeah.
was that pre stand up for you?
Pre-stand up? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
started stand up late. I started stand up when I was like 20. Well, yeah, it was pre-stand up. I started
Yeah.
stand up when I was like 25.
So how would you go about having sex with Adam? Like,
Adam,
in
we have to
detail.
How would you
recreate
do it?
a sleepover from when I was young.
Okay.
Because that's what Adam reminds me of, like all the
Oh,
Jewish
yeah.
guys that I grew up with who were
Yes.
like kind of effeminate and touchy.
Yeah, yeah.
and like
yes,
weird,
yes.
but not. But now all have wives.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
all have wives. But-
Ethically gay.
yeah, but
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we're
yeah.
like the type of guys where like if you blew them, they would giggle. They'd be like, "Stop!"
It tickles. It tickles.
but like would never even internalize it was gay. They would just
Oh,
like
yeah.
giggle. Like that would be so. That would be.
Oh, no, I can attest that like Jewish summer camp was like so
Were
much
boys sucking
homoerotic.
Oh, so much.
So much.
Did you ever
so
suck a kid off? And
No, it was never gay like in my mind, but like some of those dudes ended up.
But it was
being
never gay in my mind. But
Yeah,
just in his ass.
Yeah, it was in my head.
No, but it was like dudes like taking their dicks out and then
Yeah.
all the time, and it was just like it was fun.
Little
We
wrestling.
thought it was funny.
Yeah, everybody's in the pool.
Little
You
frogging.
got a little fabric between
Sure.
each other. That's the only thing dividing you and that
Yeah.
other.
And also also
friend,
sort of like the culture.
Josh, maybe.
The culture of like punching someone in the balls is also
Yeah.
like very strange. It's like
Yeah.
destroying your friend's masculinity.
Right.
It would just like
Damn,
get way
whoa,
too. It would get
dude.
way too like carried away. Like
Yeah.
people-
I was just saying, talking about that this morning. Is thinking back to the world of
taps.
sack tapping.
Yep.
Sack
How many
tapping is
times I got
insane.
fucking sack tapped, and
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to participate in this.
I know,
No.
dude.
I
One
don't know who
time,
fucking came up with like I have to just like hold my lower abdomen for fucking 30 minutes
One-
because you
dude,
thought
and
you
my
don't
friend
know
Tommy-
how to be funny with words.
right?
My friend Tommy got had to go like he had to go to like the clinic, like the hospital, because this kid Dan Ravinsky took a half-filled Nalgene on a carabiner and swung it and smashed his dick. And he had to,
Oh,
like, go.
God.
did he
It was
break
one of
his
the-
cock?
Well, no, he broke his cock from when we interrupted him masturbating.
Wait a minute.
my
This
God.
guy
Has
went
multiple
to
cock
yeah,
traumas.
this guy went to a clinic and then later broke his dick.
He broke his dick later that summer because
Ah.
like, he was like masturbating in the room, and I told everyone else he was masturbating. They opened a window of him masturbating. He was like flat on the bed with like his socks, just wearing socks and like holding a
Okay,
porn
I'm
magazine.
trying to be professional
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
so
sorry. He was
let's not get so
butt naked.
amazing. That, you know what I
Anyway,
mean? This is
so-
very just in his socks.
We opened the window. Everyone's like laughing at him, and it's one of the meanest things I ever did is ratting on him.
Yeah.
And he like was flat on the bed.
Well,
and he sort
no,
of.
I mean, you've solicited sex traffic prostitutes.
Yeah, you've
I
raped
didn't-
prostitutes.
That's pretty mean.
it's not mean.
It is mean.
It's participating in a broken system twice.
That's what I get people to fuck me by saying, "Will you participate in a
In a
broken
broken
system?" That's literally the line I use. This is a broken system, but will you systemically?
Tune me up.
Anyway, he like
How did he break his dick?
he was flat on his back on this mattress, and he like did a double take. Everyone's laughing at him, and he like sort of his body just sort of levitated, and he like did a 180, and he just smashed his boner into the mattress.
This is rough.
What
it
happened?
was
You
just
talking to the mic, you fucking
Sorry,
idiot.
he just like smashed his boner into the mattress, and then like he started crying. And it
What?
broke-
Did it break? Like, could he
No,
not
it
get
didn't
hard?
break. I mean, it like bent in. It was like an erection, like bent in half.
He did a real sleep number.
This
on
is
it.
Yeah,
real
yeah.
rough. One. All right. Well,
It was
Holy
horrible.
shit.
But yeah, it was like all this like sort of
did a
homoeroticism.
real sleep number.
There you go.
What number breaks your cock?
Yeah.
6, 7. You like to get rough?
One time,
Um,
a kid who ended up playing left tackle for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
And that tapped me so hard, I literally thought I shit one of my balls out of my ass.
Jesus.
Because it was bloody. Like I
when
fucking
I was
shit.
I was a kid and I was walking on parallel bars on a playground set and I fucking split my fucking legs right on top. Metal parallel bars.
Ouch.
And I
Fuck
slipped,
me.
fell right down on the fucking
Fuck
middle
me.
of them. I had to run into the bathroom. I thought I like popped one of my balls.
Ah.
That was the most pain I've ever been in my life.
Me and my friend ditched school once, and we were just walking around the town.
Yeah, yeah.
My dad saw that, and he just hopped out of his truck and just punched me in the face, and then got back in his car and left. Just straight up deaded me, punched me in the face. I fell down, and my friend laughed so hard. I was
Oh
like, "You're
my
so
God.
fucked up." And then my friend's mother called me, and this is like the town I grew up in. It was just she called me and she's like, "Yo, your father did a great job with you. Will he come over and punch my son in the face?" And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
Barb, great woman.
God damn.
What a cool culture.
Barb's a good.
That was a great culture. That was a culture back then. People saw it. People saw my dad punch me in the face, and everybody looked at me like, "Well, you're a piece of shit."
Yeah, yeah.
Like nobody was like, "Why are you getting decked?" Everybody was like, "Yeah, good. I'm glad you got punched in the face."
Well, there's probably a world in between child abuse and participation trophies. It's like a
there
happy
is
medium.
there is a happy medium somewhere.
Yeah.
I used to
Yep.
get smacked.
Were you you were
No,
hit?
Adam was like gently reprimanded. Maybe he got
Adam was like,
No,
pat on the
no, my
back.
dad had like
Jewish
this,
hit. Where?
this like it was covered in leather. It was like a
It's a whole
wooden
mask
dowel
with a
No,
a
it's
ring
like-
where
Yeah.
the mouth is.
It was like my grandfather's.
You would put it. Of course, it was your
It
grandfather.
was my grandfather's from World War II.
Yeah.
No, no.
It had swastika stitched in the
Yeah.
back of the head.
Yeah.
For shame.
Yeah, my
It
dad
was
used
actually
to put
a
on an
reverse
SS
facing
uniform,
swastika, so you could only see it the right way in the mirror.
Dad would put on an S.
and he'd make me wear the pajamas. He's like, it's pajama time, and I'd have to put on the stripy pajamas,
Yeah.
and we play Auschwitz.
Yeah, he had a shower that when you turned it on and cum came out. Poisonous cum.
What did you? What was it? A thing where he would hit you with? What was it?
No, it was like a baton. Yeah. It was like
Yeah.
my grand from World War II.
course.
His dad was really into rhythmic gymnastics.
Yeah.
They ran out of South Africa because his dad.
If
was,
you fuck up this parallel bar routine,
Yeah.
you're gonna get.
Show me your floor
Hold on.
exercise.
That's
now.
regular gymnastics. Rhythm gymnastics is the one where they dance
Right
around
with the gay
ribbons.
ribbon. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
the-
it's the floor exercise, baby.
So like I would actually prefer to get hit than like to get fucked with, because your parents lie to you and they always fuck with you like mentally.
Yeah.
There was this one time, like I remember really young, my dad, he was trying to punish me for getting a B on something. Like they were like
Yeah.
very demanding academically, whatever. So he made up this fake phone call. He sent me to timeout, and then he made up a fake phone call where he was faking a phone call where he was sending me to a boys' work camp. And then he's like, and my dad's from South Africa, so he's like, okay, so Monday, what should we be bringing for his vocational boys work camp? And I'm like, sitting in my bedroom crying, like thinking I'm gonna have to be like a child labor.
Tim,
or something.
is that your dream? Is being the counselor at a?
Yeah, I was just about to
14-year-old
say, if, like,
kid?
if I was you, I'd be like, can I go now? Do we have to wait till tomorrow? Can you drive me right now? How many guys will have to sleep with me in the bed?
And then so he's like,
My parents put me on swim team to make me like not
Ooh.
gay, and it was just
So when
literally
did-
just naked
just
dudes.
boys in
doesn't work.
bikinis.
That was a
Yeah.
bad. My parents like, we got to get him into sports.
You ever
And,
see? You ever see the Lifetime movie Cyber Seduction: His Secret Life?
wait, no, but who's in that? You told me about that.
Yeah, I forget the actress that's in it. The woman that plays the mom is the only one that
He's a
had-
swimmer, right? He's like
he's
so
just-
hot.
He's a swimmer.
Who is it? Ryan Phillippe or one of those guys?
I can't
It's
remember.
like one of those dudes.
Yeah, and the fucking he's like a swimmer. He fucks up his whole swimming career because he starts looking at porn, but it's never really porn. It's
Right.
just like girls in sweaters
Yeah, yeah.
winking. You know? And he just stays up all night drinking energy drinks and like refreshing
Yeah.
images of the J.C. Penney catalog.
Yeah.
Never beating off. And then, like, they never even call it porn. I
Right.
don't think the mom's like, I can't believe our son is looking at those websites,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
or
so
whatever. And then eventually he's like beaten up by like the coolest kid in school.
Yeah.
because
For
he's
looking at porn?
Yeah, it's just bizarre.
It's so funny how like it used to be like your parents were worried that you were online looking at porn. Now it's like they're worried that you're like on the Daily Stormer. Like it's like a whole different worry. It's like, was he beating off? No, he's a white supremacist.
Oh yeah.
yeah, but
I never. But you weren't an internet kid at all, though, right? You don't
How old
strike
are
me
you?
as
I was like,
you were a
I'm
drug
32.
house
you're
kid.
32.
Yeah, I wasn't like an internet kid. I was like I would go on America Online and I would go on like AIM.
Yeah.
But like I was hanging out, like I was doing blow at 12 and I was hanging out
yeah.
at crack houses and driving to the Bronx and getting coke and
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
acid.
yeah.
Crack
yeah.
is a lot of fun, right?
I've never smoked crack. I've freebase cocaine.
Okay.
And I think that's a lot of
We
fun.
just
I
asked-
can only imagine.
That's literally what Evan just told us.
Evan
Yeah,
Williams
yeah.
was also freebase cocaine.
Yeah.
The last step he was
Yeah.
talking about it.
yeah.
And he said it was really good and really scary. and
I
really-
mean, listen, man, none of it's great.
Yeah. It's never great.
Like a lot of it
never
does
that
have
good.
adverse effects.
But when you were partying, you weren't even gay. Like you weren't even fucking, right? You
no,
only started
I was
fucking
just
maybe when you were
drugging. I was
sober.
doing weird, like I was later on. I kind of was,
Okay.
but I was not.
Uh-huh.
I was like not. Oh, clearly not out.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
was
yeah.
partying since I was 12, 13.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I was, so I wasn't fucking that.
Oh right.
My first, I first virginity I lost with a girl was first year of college.
Ooh, how was that?
She would probably say it was not the greatest
Right,
fuck
right,
ever.
right.
It was fine. Like, and then like I was doing like in high school, I would like maybe do like weird stuff with dudes, but it wasn't like, you know what I mean? It was like reasonable.
Yeah.
It was the kind of shit. Yeah.
It's the stuff where I still feel like I could do with Adam now, and it wouldn't be gay.
Right.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
talked
yeah.
themselves out of it ever
It
happening.
wouldn't be gay. It'd be like sleepover, wrestling,
Oh, did your cock slip into my mouth?
yeah, like touching. Like
Yeah.
it's funny to be naked.
Right.
You know what I
It's
mean?
a
Like
being naked
that's
is
a
funny.
funny bit.
Yeah.
is to be naked with people like your friend. That's hilarious.
It's
Yeah.
funny when Will Ferrell
That's why
runs
I go to
naked
this- I
down
go
the
to
street in
the
old
bathhouse
school.
is to
yeah.
write.
Yeah.
It's the best place to write comedy.
Yeah,
It's the best place to write.
Oh yeah. Some
yeah,
really
you
funny
and like
stuff's happening over there.
Russian mobsters.
Yeah.
you like run bits by them.
I go
right?
up and down, the Jersey Turnpike, and I go in the truck stop restrooms.
Yep.
And
Oh
I work on my craft.
Yeah.
Imagine like doing bits like through a glory hole.
Yeah.
That's good.
What's the deal with elevator music? Why did they get rid of elevator music? I want it back.
Stop it, please.
Boom, 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 boom.
I told you.
Suck on my dick. I'm gay.
I told you that story that my friend Rylan told me about that glory hole guy in the South. So there's this like guy that's like
Sounds like an old fucking legend.
I've told Nick this
Well,
story
he
before.
was a contemporary of Robert
No.
E. Lee.
So there's this guy
They called him Hole in the Wall Jackson.
yeah.
this guy his like whole like
Give that a little bit more credit.
That's
that was good.
Yeah,
that was
Spot
very good.
that.
That was
sorry,
very good.
Sorry, that was good. Yeah, so this guy's like his whole issue and cause is glory holes, like shutting down glory holes.
Shutting them down or
Shutting them down.
protecting? Oh,
So
with
what he does?
Duct tape?
No, he thinks like
How big of
It's
a
not
problem
very
are
hard.
glory holes in the South? Like how inconvenient
he
are
says
they?
in pornography stores and truck stops, they're riddled
In this
with these glory
Bojangles
holes.
restaurant?
In
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So what he does is he entraps men going to use a glory hole by taking pictures of their penis when they put it into the glory hole, and then
weird.
Are you
and
kidding?
then threatens them with those pictures and says, "I'm going to send this to your family," and then like blackmails them.
This is
but
the
he's
weirdest
clearly
fetish.
like he's clearly
Yeah, like somebody's gonna be like, "Well, yep, that's my son's penis. For sure. That's my adult son's hard penis. I would never
Yeah.
mistake that.
Yeah.
I know. I raised that dick.
Yeah.
But he's
I
clearly
breastfed that.
They like call their
penis every
husband over.
day.
They're like,
Yeah.
"Is this Jimmy's cock?"
but he's clearly like a repressed gay guy, and he's using
Yeah.
like Christianity.
Any dude who goes, "Hey, I'm a real Christian. Here's what I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to spend
yeah.
my life doing."
Yeah, yeah.
right.
Photographing cocks coming through glory holes.
no,
That's a rough sell.
No, yeah,
That's a tough sell. You know?
And Rylan was telling me, he literally
He
has.
just loves the minute that mushroom head pokes through the glory.
That's the only time he feels alive, dude. He sees that pink tip crawling over, dude.
But Rylan said he literally has trapper keepers filled with men's cocks.
Are you
And he's like,
What,
look
like
at this.
baseball cards?
Like baseball cards.
Like an
in
Encyclopedia
plastic cellophane.
Britannica of shafts.
Also, that's by the way.
Trade you an 8.5 black cut for a Pikachu. Got a holographic Charizard.
Did you see wives coming in to try to identify their husband's cock?
By the way, that guy just did that because he got caught at a glory hole one day, and he was like, I'm here to stop people being gay."
It's like the Eichenwald Pete Townsend. Like,
Yeah.
I was only downloading massive amounts of child pornography so I could complain about
It was research.
Well, I just love the idea that, that guy supposedly goes to some like conservative church where he's got to meet people and tell them what he does. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, of
listen to
course.
how I get these queers.
Yeah.
I take a photo of their cock
Yeah.
as soon as it slides through the glory hole. I got thousands of them.
You know he sucked at least 8 dicks
You gotta.
at that point.
What are you gonna do?
You're there.
You're there.
You know what I mean?
You know he's also had to appreciate a few dicks that went to that glory hole, and he went.
Yeah, even
well,
if he's
that's a
not gay,
nice,
yeah.
Even if he's not gay, he has to go. Hey, I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a few guys he didn't even take a photo. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's
I gotta be honest. I have nothing but respect for you. You know,
the heft. The heft
So
on that
crazy.
cock.
Well, we're pretty much wrapped up here.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay, we
episode.
got fucking funny moms
No,
coming up.
let Tim plug his stuff first.
Oh, thank you. Very cool. TimDillonComedy.com. You can sign up for my mailing list. I do a show on a bus. Things are going well, and it's a lot of fun. You can sign up for that if you want. I have a podcast called Tim Dillon's Going to Hell. We also talk about
Yeah, listen to that.
pedophile cults.
Ray Kump's on there. Probably
Ray Kump's on there.
Funniest voice in radio.
Yeah, he is a and
does sound
very
like a cartoon
bright. He's like
dog.
we could
Yeah,
talk about the
yeah.
Federal Reserve for hours as a homeless person.
I
So-
thought that he was like, they had a disability.
Oh yeah, well
For
he
the first,
does.
like,
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
The first 6
Number
months I
one,
knew
you're
the
not
guy.
wrong. Yeah.
I would see him at mics
Yeah.
and stuff, and then I would read on Facebook, and I'm like, is this his caretaker?
He came on
writing
my
this?
he came on my bus tour show, and like a bunch of people from my agency had come on the show. I was like my agent, and everything. Ray is just pouring Jack Daniels in coffee, and it's going all over him. And like he just walks up to my agent and he goes, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh, dude, this is not just sit down." Like
Ray fucking rules, man. He's
yeah,
funny
he's
as
awesome.
shit.
But I'll be at Side Splitters in Tampa,
Oh,
Laugh
nice.
Boston, January.
When are you in Side Splitters?
Tampa in January, like
Oh,
I
in
think.
January. Okay.
And then I'll
I'm
be
there this weekend.
Laugh Boston, I'll be at in New Hampshire at Shaskeen Pub, and then Portland, Maine. So TimDillComedy.com's got all those dates.
Yeah, Tim's funny as shit. Listen to his shit.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for coming on.
Thank
man.
you guys for having me.
We've
We
been
tried the
wanting to
first
have-
time, it was like a year ago, and my agent took me to an ice cream museum.
Yes,
I remember that.
Yeah, Stav was like, "You fat fuck."
I went to it.
You wouldn't let me live it down. You're like, "You got."
I mean, you're posting about it. You're doing fucking
Yeah.
8 stories. And
I don't
shit.
even. I think I lied. I was
Yeah,
like,
you
"I'm
did.
sick."
You
And
lied.
Then,
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
I
It
went
was
to
funny, though.
And then I sat in a big tub of sprinkles.
Yeah, yeah. I took
Even
a
the
picture and
cat's
sent it
upset.
to you.
The cat's like, "That's gross."
Fuck
I don't
yeah.
know what that noise was.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
All right, we got Funny Moms coming up on November 27th.
The
If
Monday
you-
after Thanksgiving.
I'm going to be in Baltimore the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, the 22nd at Sidebar. Come out to that. And I will also be in Cleveland at Hilarities Sunday, the 3rd of December. And I got a show in motherfucking Boston the 16th of December. So come out to those. And we also have the big show, Come Town Live in DC, the
22nd.
Christmas Spectacular, on the 22nd
of December.
of December
At the Black Cat.
Cat in DC.
And the ticket link will be going up
Should
soon.
be
A
up,
lot of
yep,
people
yep.
have asked. Is
I'm
it
doing
up now?
spots again. I'm at the stand occasionally.
Hell yeah,
and
shouts
then-
out
Hey,
to the
yeah,
stand.
Nick's
Nick
getting
is
back in
back.
it.
I'm back, baby.
Shouts out to the stand. Great club.
Yeah. No, they're good, man.
I love that
Fucking-
club, seriously.
Yeah, they're great.
Patrick's a good dude for putting
is a
me
good
up.
Yeah.
Knowing that I will bomb.
He hooks it up big
90%
time.
of the time I'm there. I never do well there. But
You did great
Really?
the other night. You keep saying that.
You're
You did
too much
fine.
in your head.
I
man.
think no. This
You
week
really
it was,
did
it was
good.
okay, but
Yeah.
usually it's a rough go of it.
Yeah, and I know this is also coming up, going up on Sunday. But thanks to everyone that came out to Funny Moms this week. It was a really good one.
Oh yeah, this was a great show. Thanks,
and,
guys.
And Brandon didn't bomb, so that was
Yeah, it was the first time Brandon didn't completely bomb at the show. He was doing other people's material, so I don't know. It's kind of a wash. But yeah, thanks everybody. Check out Tim's
Bye.
shit. Goodbye.